A massive welcome to another episode of Boxing TV. Great to see you all. Everybody who hasn't seen us before, I'm Dan Hewitt, professional boxing commentator. And great to see you. As I say every single week, please make sure you send all of your comments in. I'd love to know where you're from, all these weird and wonderful places. Last week, I had a great time up in Aberdeen in Scotland to commentate on an international fight over there, which I really, really enjoyed. Big props there to Assassin. Boxing Promotions and Management and Lee McAllister. Some great fights, great event. Great to see the new stadium they have there. It's really, really nice. So today I've got two incredible guests coming on. I'm going to go straight to comments. I always do. But again, two incredible guests. We were going to have Will Storey on, but unfortunately he's stuck on a flight in the Isle of Man. So he's not going to be here this week. He's going to be here next week. But we will be having on just an incredible guy who have followed his entire career. Just a great family man, proper throwback fighter, Mr. Sam Eggington, who's going to be joining us after his incredible performance the other day. And then a little bit later, we're also going to be getting Danny Ball, the new English welterweight champion, to come and say hi to you. So let's go to the fans. I always like saying hi. Do me a favor, everybody who's watching, please like and just press share so more people can get involved in the stream. First of all, Lisa Webb, hello, my favorite person. Oh, bless you. Tom, mate. Nice to see you. Lovely to see you, Liz. Lee Hurley said, evening, Dan. Lee, nice to see you, matey. Make sure you keep all your questions coming in today. And also, finally, Leslie Webb. Evening, Dan. Hope you're well. Thanks for another great show, and thank you to your guest tonight. Cheers. Legends. So I'm going to go first of all we had quite a big night of boxing last night, I'd say. With first of all, Teofimo Lopez against Josh Taylor, which was a really, really interesting fight. For me, I mean, I did predict that Teo would win, but I was a little bit concerned. I was really concerned in his mental state going into the fight. There was something weird about him. Now he's talking about retirement. So I was still quite worried for him. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's and I like Teo. He's been on the show before, and I've got a lot of love for him, but I don't know what was wrong. But something's going on in his head, and I don't particularly like it, if I'm being honest. Big shout out to Sonny Edwards, again, a man who I've commentated with before. Great Guy, Sonny Edwards. Really showed his class last night on the Matchroom show, so well done to Sonny Edwards. And big shout out to Katie Healy, David Jameson up in Scotland, didn't go your way last night in your title contention. But well done, and great big shout out to recent guest Nina Hughes, who is still the world champion. So great to see. I'm going to be bringing on now my first guest, and I've got a real soft spot for this guy. He's just a great overall guy. I followed his career all the way through. Just a top lad, Mr. Sam Eggington. Sam, always a pleasure to have you. Welcome to the show, mate. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on again. Yeah, I'm good. Everything's going well.
Bless your heart. It's great to see you. It really is. And guys, everybody watching, make sure you keep your comments coming in. Me and Sam, obviously, we go way, way back. And we were just talking on, behind the scenes there, if you like. I'm always like message him the instant. If it doesn't go his way, I'm always the first person to say, come on, let's go again. Let's go again, Sam. And it means so much because sport is, it's not a long sport, not a long age of sport.
It's a very fickle sport as well, so you got to have people that'll back you either way. So yeah, it goes a long way.
It does, mate, absolutely. And we've got a few comments coming in already. Let's have a quick look here. Ben, No Retreat Gore, nice to see you, matey. Top bloke, love your show. Love you, you little legend. Cheers, pal. Les says, shared times infinity. Okay, cool. Oh, my days. Lopez's road was amazing with having Walt Disney on the back. It was quite cool, actually. Absolutely loved it. Great fight and a well-deserved win. And one for you, Sam. Met Sam a few times. He's a really nice guy and constantly fight of the year contender due to his style. Yeah, he's getting better. I will say, Sam, and I'm going to raise that you are getting better. And finally, Carl Creed said, keep up the great work, Dan. Cheers, legend. Much appreciated. So, first of all, congratulations, Sam, on such an emphatic win. I mean, I was so impressed. I was straight on the messages to John. Yeah. And I was so impressed with you. How did you feel in there? Because you looked the best I've ever seen you in your entire career, Sam.
You know what? I felt good. The whole run up to it, the whole run up to it, I kept, like, the week of the fight, I kept telling people, people ask, sponsors, the coaches, people in the gym, how do you feel? And I kept telling people I felt good. And I thought, I've told too many people. I'm starting to set myself up for a massive fall here, because I was telling everyone how great I felt and how I'm going to do a job, and I'm really excited for it. And then, yeah, like you say, just everything seemed to land in place, and it turned out great on the night.
For me, I mean, I was expecting a completely different fight. I do think, from me personally, I do think Pigford potentially underperformed. Either that or you overperformed, because we've seen Pigford go out there and absolutely clean guys. But there's levels to this sport. I want to concentrate more on you, though, really. So you completely changed almost your style. You've always been known as being a rugged, tough lad, fit lad, can bang a bit. But you've never really been known for the silky skills, but I don't even think you really got into the fight, to be honest. So what, have you been working on more with Richie, or what have you been doing with John? Sorry,
people hit me, and I've let people throw combinations and I've took shots that I don't have to take. But I think when you're fighting a kid who's 20-0 with 19 knockouts, it don't matter whether you've knocked them kids out in the ring or on a pub car park. Do you know what I mean? I kept telling people this all week. That means you can really punch. You've knocked 19 people out. So, in the back of my mind, that was really, I thought, I can't be stupid. I can't let it really stick to the plan. And get and try some of that. I'm not used to. Get hit without being hit, sort of thing. So, and like I say, it just fell into place, Matt, like brilliantly. And again, that's all down to the team. The coaches. So, I would put it off on the night, but a lot of work goes into it.
I was really impressed. And by the way, the signal is going a little bit, so everybody keep watching. We've got thunderstorms where Sam is, thunderstorms where I am. It's nice being warm, but unfortunately it brings thunderstorms in the UK. So stick with us. So yeah, I was so.
I'm in a storm.
I was so. That's it. Pigford was in a bit of a storm the other day as well, to be fair. But you just really surprised me. Can you hear me?
Give me a quick second.
Yeah, no worries. We'll get there. So yeah, I mean, I was really, really, really impressed with Sam. I thought his skills that he showed were absolutely fantastic. He looked like a completely different fighter. It seems like he's been fighting forever. And it's I mean, how old are you now, Sam?
29 now.
It's mad. Feels like you've been around forever.
Yeah, like I said after the fight, I think people that because I have been here for a long time, and I get it. I've been here a long time, and I've had a load of fights, but I think a lot of people are looking at me like I've done my serious work, and now I'm just playing at it, and I'm just trying to earn a bit of dough. But that can't be far. It's not far from the truth. I've really taken it serious lately.
Yeah.
In the last few years, I've took it more serious than I did. At the start when I was winning British and the European. I'm really putting a lot of effort into it, and I think it shows. But people are looking at how long I've been boxing and the amount of fights, and kind of, like I said, just putting me down as like a, I've done my serious work, and I'm just here to, make some dough now. But yeah, it's not the truth. Like I say, I'm here to win bouts, and I'm here to, climb the ranks.
I like it, and I honestly believe you. I honestly, because a lot of people can be really media trained and talk a load of crap, but you straight down the line with what you're saying. I like it. Let's go back to the fans really quickly. So Ben said, "Thanks for the shout out. Always a big fan. Top man. Nice to see you, matey." Richard Vernon said, "Another great show as always, pal. Keep up the amazing work, legend." John Paul Sale said, "Savage." Absolutely. And Sam Carroll, well done, by the way, your fight up in Scotland the other day, Sam. I was really impressed with you. Great performance that last fight, Sam. Absolutely. What I will say, though, I was a little bit underwhelmed by Pigford. Because, like you say, he didn't seem to get going at all in the fight. He didn't seem to have an answer at all. And, no disrespect to him, because I'm sure he'll look back and be really, really upset. Why do you think it was such a bad performance? Was it his inactivity? Or was it just that you had his number? I
don't believe in a lot of this inactivity thing. I think, if you're a boxer and you're a full-time athlete, you're in the gym anyway. So this inactivity thing, I've never done that. I've never give that excuse, and I've never really took that excuse serious by anyone. you know, you're an athlete. You should be in the gym. You know, it doesn't matter how many times you box. You know, you're fit and sharp. It doesn't matter. But I think, you know, the occasion. I think as well, you know, when you're looking, you know, when you do a face-off and you're looking at someone that's coming to give it you back, it changes the face-off to what you normally, you know, what you're normally fighting. And I think, you know, at the first press conference when we done a face-off, I think it really hit home. I generally do. I mean, I'm not one to say, oh, I saw fear in his eyes. I'm not that guy, but I generally, you know, saw, you know, you swallow and it, you know, it's a big swallow. You know, you think shit's just about to get real, and it did for him. So. And like I said, I've got nothing against him. He was a cool guy. I spoke to him afterwards. Backstage, I spoke to him and his dad, and I said, "Look, don't let this get you down. You know, I've had 8 nights like this. I've had against worse opposition. So don't let it get you down. Just keep your eye on the goal and carry on pushing." But yeah, I think when you get into a serious fight and you're doing a face-off, it's different to when you're facing off against someone that's come to get knocked over or go the distance sort of thing. And I think it really hit home in the press conference with a face off, because like, to me it's water off a duck's back. Like I just said, I've been here ages. This is a day's work to me. I think he noticed that. I think he thought, this kid's not bothered at all. 19 knockouts, 20 wins, all that shit was like, it doesn't bother me at all. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think it hit home. I think from then on, it kind of just got to him. And like when he walked to the ring, when you watch it back, I think he. I mean, obviously I didn't see it on the night, but I think when you watch it back, I think he looked nervous. And then he hit me with a few good shots in the first couple of rounds. And like I say, it didn't bother me. I don't think he's had that before.
So feeling his power in there, because he can bang. I mean, like you say, it doesn't matter. It's a bit like the Deontay Wilder situation. Yeah, there might have been 40 bums that he knocked out. I don't like calling people bums, but that's what people out there say, because they're all fighters. All respect to them. But let's just say, for argument's sake, they're 40 bin men. It's kind of, they've still got to put them people out. So, I mean, did you feel
whole fight week? I said this whole fight. I said, people are saying, but you knocked out people. I'm saying, listen, if you knock 19 people out in a pub car park, you can punch. It don't matter who you're knocking out, you're putting them out. So yeah, I did think about that, and it was in the back of my mind. But once I got in there, and like I say, he was nervous. I don't know, he hit me with a few good shots, and it was just like I say, water off a duck's back. Really? I think he noticed that. And then once he he kind of demoralised him. I just went to work, and it was the end.
I mean, I'm not being funny, but if you're standing in front of Sam Eggington and you're hitting him and you're not hurting him, he's coming for you.
Yeah,
that's one thing you can. There's a reason why you're called Savage, mate.
If you're throwing punches, and it's meat and drink to me, that's me. Then dinner time, and I'm going at it, and I did, and it worked out.
I like it. No, it was good. Did you not feel his power then, really, at all in there?
No,
did you have no respect for that?
Because I did spar him. If you look, it said on the commentary, I sparred him a few years ago, and even then, I thought, Jesus, this kid can really hit. But again, when you're sparring at 12.5 stone, and then you're fighting the day after you've made 11, you're not the same man.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can punch at 11 stone, but it's not the same punch that I remember. Maybe that's why I didn't really think he could punch, but he could punch, but it weren't snappy either. It was like really thud, like a thud. You saw them coming, so they kind of hit you and they hurt, but it weren't snappy like it's gonna, not concussive sort of thing. So
right, I see.
Yeah, I just kind of rolled with him and took what I had to take and give back. But yeah, it was I think from the second round onwards, it was the start of the end, if I'm honest. But
yeah. You had his number. You really, really did. I was just surprised the way the fight went. I mean, I had you as the favourite, to be honest, to win the fight, just from your experience. And if you look at his record compared to yours, there's a massive gulf in the level of opposition. But great performance.
I said this as well at the open workout. I said anyone that I've boxed in the last 4 or 5 years would either beat him and beat all the opponents he's had, or you know what I mean. So. That's why his record didn't really faze me as much. I mean, if I had the same record, I'd probably knocked them all out as well. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I do know.
It is what it is, but
Absolutely. Got a comment coming in. Hi, Sam. Thanks for your time this evening. Fantastic latest victory and never a dull moment in the ring. Fantastic boxer and very entertaining. Keep the great work up, Sam. Thanks, Leslie. Cheers for your comment, mate. Everybody watching, again, make sure you press the like button and make sure you share. I see each and every one that comes through, and I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Right. So, for yourself, you said you're not here to make up the numbers now, Sam. You mean in business? You never really have. But you mean in business now. And you've had, for me, a career best win. What's next for you?
But again, I said it. I'm pretty sure I've said this the last time we was on. I've never really planned anything because my whole career has been made on opportunities. You know, if the phone rang, we've weighed it up and took the opportunity. You know, it started with the Midlands. You know, the Commonwealth. You know, the Shane Singleton, the WEC International thing. All these have just been opportunities that have come out of nowhere and we've took them. So we've never really planned a road to, you know, the world title. It's just kind of been an opportunity that I've took them, and I think that's what you've got to like I say. I don't believe in this inactivity thing because if you're a full-time athlete, you can't have that excuse. I don't think personally. You're either in the gym or you're not. So again, I ain't really got a plan for the next thing. I'm waiting for a phone call, and I'm pretty sure it'll come.
So one thing I'm like to do is I know both sides of boxing when it comes to media and your side. So I understand these aren't call outs because that's disrespectful, and I don't like it when people do that, especially when media try and bait you. Really winds me up.
Yeah.
But there must be a few people that you've got your eyes on. That not necessarily the people, but they may be holding a few titles that you wouldn't mind having. Is there anybody on like the radar?
I mean, obviously I'd have loved the Hogan rematch, you know, before we lost to JJ. But other than that, you know, I'd love I think I'd hate to retire without a US fight. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to go over to the US and box over there. So if anyone rang from the US, then I think that'd be the plan. But no real names.
I'm amazed you've not, Sam.
Yeah, like I say, I've never had the phone call either. I don't think. Not that I know of, anyway.
I mean, it's not like you're not good value for money, Sam. They'd love you over there against like Mexican or something. He'd be fighting a year.
I'd love that. I would. But yeah, I've never had a
shout out now. Shout out to all them promoters. Get him over to the US. Man. I'm telling you, they think, Jesus Christ, they think you'd speak Spanish.
Yeah, like I say, I think I'd be gutted if I retired without a US fight. Fight in the US. Anyway, I'm not looking for an MGM or you know, something massive. Just somewhere in the States would be great.
Awesome. I like the idea of it. There's a promoter out there. A lot of promoters watch this. Get Sam over there because he's value for money. I'm telling you that now. Every single penny. Right. So going to, let's say, what happened last night, really. So Teofimo Lopez beat Josh Taylor in a fantastic performance.
Yeah.
He's now talking about retiring. So do you think it's more on the fact that Taylor's not the same fighter than he was when he fought for that Muhammad Ali trophy?
Yeah. It's hard to say, and it's hard to say because, like I said, Teofimo's, as much as people are going on about his mental state, and I get it because he has been coming out with some crazy things, he's still a quality operator. So, yeah, he's beat Josh Taylor. Would he have beat Josh Taylor 2 or 3 years ago? Who knows? But he beat him last night, and from what I've heard, he beat him handily. So
yeah,
I don't think there's a call for a rematch either. I mean, I don't like I say, he's retiring anyway. He's saying, but I don't think there'll be a call for one anyway. But yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I don't like to talk on other boxers because I think, you know, it's bad karma. But you know, he got beat handily. Would he have got beat handily 2 or 3 years ago? Probably not. So does that mean he's on the down? You just don't know. And who am I to say? I've had bad losses, you know, and I've come back better. Yeah. So again, it's hard to say, and I don't like to talk on other boxers like that.
That's good of you. I like that. That's respectful.
I think you know, he's a quality operator. Give him a few months, he'll be back in the gym, and I'm pretty sure he could definitely come and do some more, you know, win a world title without a doubt. But it just depends who's about at the time, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. He is. He's one of Scotland's best ever, really,
Yeah.
if we're being straight. We got another comment here from YouTube. Got manners. Super Sam Eggington, top Brummie, top fighter, always value for money. Cheers, buddy. If you're over on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, press the notification bell. And we do this every single Sunday. So we're brilliant guests every week. Another fight. So news that's come in over the last couple of days is Anthony Joshua against Dylan White for the second time. Now, I know I'm not talking bad about it. They're talking about mental state again here, but I think it's important to a fighter. One of the biggest things to a fighter is his mental state. So, are you still with me, Sam? Can you hear me? These storms aren't helping at all. So I'm sure he'll come back to me in a second. Shouting out there to the fans that if you can see me just while Sam comes back on. So, of course, Dylan White and Anthony Joshua are scheduled to fight each other for the second time. I'll be honest. I'll put my 2 pence in just while Sam reconnects. I think any fight for Joshua right now is a bad idea, and that sounds terrible. It sounds terrible, but I don't feel his mental state is where it needs to be. If you look at that first fight against Dylan White, I'll bring Sam back on. I'll just drop him out in a second. If you look at that first fight against Dylan White, you can clearly see Anthony Joshua's going, come on, and he puts it on him and he has a full-on scrap. That's not Anthony Joshua anymore. That Joshua's just not that person. Since having, I don't know. Danny, I can do you in the background there. I can see you. I don't know if you can think you agree with me. You can nod or say no. Yeah, he's nodding. I just don't think he's the same person. Since the Andy Ruiz loss, and I think even further back than that, really, the Klitschko knockdown, he's just not that same person. Don't get me wrong. That Klitschko was probably his best performance for Anthony Joshua, but he's just not that person anymore. He's just hasn't got the bit between his teeth. He hasn't got that aggression, and that's what we loved Anthony Joshua for. Guys, keep your comments coming in here and help me out here. But what do you think about? Think I'm right, or am I being overly harsh? Because I know I've asked a few fighters this now, but I just don't think he is the wrecking ball that he needs to be. And seeing him to go in with the likes of Deontay Wilder is slaughter. He is a great finisher. And I've said this many, many times. Deontay Wilder, if he's got Hewitt, which he probably will, because he's got bleeding, what's his name? Thor's hammer in his right hand or left hook. He can punch with either. He's a great fighter, and I think Joshua going in against someone like that right now is an absolutely shocking idea. I can imagine that Sam, his battery's gone, because I know he said he was, but he's a great guy. I love the guy. He'll probably end up coming back on it again in a second, but really, really lovely guy. My question to you guys out there then. So, who wins the fight? In the current mental state that Anthony Joshua's in right now, is he that same Joshua that can go knock him out with that uppercut and go, come on? Because I see White being the aggressor in this fight. And I think that White has got a bleeding good chance of beating Joshua. And this will completely upset the apple cart. Lee McAllister. Again, big shout out to you, mates. Good evening, everyone watching the best show in the world tonight. Thanks, mate. Lovely to see you. Keep all your comments coming in because I absolutely love to hear from every single one of you. So make sure you do. What's Chris Harper said? What is it they say about boxers? Silk bags, sheets, and running. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what was for. But yeah, you were talking about the Marvin Hagler quote where he said it's hard to get out of bed at something like 4 a.m. in silk pajamas, which is absolutely the right thing. And again, big shout out to Lee McAllister with a great show up in Aberdeen. It was nice this time, actually. I got to go up there and sit by the beach, have a few beers, enjoy the place a little bit more rather than just working. Obviously, Saturday was all business. 23 fights were on, so it was a hell of a commentary set. I will be releasing all of these very, very shortly. Lee McAllister said, at this moment, I think AJ is going to struggle and White might take advantage when his confidence is shot. Do you know what? That is the nail on the head for me there. Honestly, you've hit the nail on the head. I honestly think Anthony Joshua going in right now against Dylan White is a dangerous move. Sam's managed to come back on, and let's see if his battery went. Sam, you all right, mate?
You're right, pal.
Did your battery go?
Nah, the storm, man. The storm's killing us.
Don't worry, mate. Don't worry. So what we were just speaking about there while you were off is there's a scheduled fight with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua for December and Saudi. They're both getting something like 34 million each. There's like 250 million amount for 4 fighters, which is absolutely mental, really. There's too much money for that not to happen for me. But there's a big risky fight for Anthony Joshua with Dylan White. I think they said it was July, August time. Again, just so you could hear me out. I think it's really risky for Joshua, and this might massively upset the apple cart, because I feel that, say what you want about Dylan White. Is he limited? Yeah. Can he punch? Yeah. Is he game? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Do you think this is a smart move for Anthony Joshua and the matchroom team?
Listen, for 34 million, I'll fight Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua myself. But
likewise.
I don't think it. Like I say, Joshua beat him quite comfortably the first time. He don't really need to go back there. Dylan White's got much better since then, so it is a sticky one. I think it's a hard fight to beat Wilder, really. Yeah, like you say, he's got that equaliser as well, hasn't he? So
yeah.
I think both fights are very hard fights to win for him at this point. But you've got to take a fight at one point. So
yeah, that's it. He's got to fight. What my question was more based around is like, do you think if you've got pretty much a guaranteed payday for 34 million,
I don't think I would take.
Why would you take that at this low confidence? Do you know what I mean?
He's already beaten comfortably the first time. I mean, I know it was years ago, but it's done now. Really, for me, I don't know how everyone else feels, but for me, it's done. We beat him. It was years ago.
Yeah.
No real point going over road ground, especially when it's a much harder fight now than it was then, and it could take, like you say, you £34 million payday away. But yeah, it's not something I'd do. I'd probably just sit back and train for the Saudi thing.
It's all risk, no reward for me.
Yeah.
Because if he beats Dylan White, great. You've already beat him. You've already not only that, you emphatically knocked him out.
But
so why do you need?
Even if you fight him again and beats him, with the way Dylan White fights, it's going to take a lot out of you either way.
Yeah.
So do you really want that extra bit of, grind and 12 rounds of hard graft just before the big Wilder fight? But again, I don't know. I'm not in the team, so you never know how he feels about it.
So risky. But he's like you said, he's got to fight someone, Sam, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, and everybody's a risk. I mean, this just sounds a bit crazy now, but out of, let's say, the top 10, who would you prefer than Dylan White? Or even the top 20? Like, I wouldn't like see Joshua in with Zile Zhang. I wouldn't like to see Joshua in with Filip Ergovic. I wouldn't like to see Joshua in with Alan Babic. Do you know what I mean? I genuinely wouldn't like to see him in with him. So everything's a massive risk. And I just think this...
Like you say, he's trying to make the best of a bad situation, and he's got to fight. So who'd you fight? Someone you've beat before. I suppose people are seeing that as, I've done it before, I'll do it again. But it's not to say that's going to happen. But again, who am I to talk? These guys are unified heavyweight champions. So
still, but if the sport wasn't subjective, it'd be pretty boring. So this is why I sit here talking crap all the time about it. But still, right, let's have a quick look here. I don't quite know what he's on about here. Actually, Leslie Webb said, "I note the Yorkshire tea, lovely brew, can't fault you." Have you got a Yorkshire tea mug or something?
You know it, brother.
Get in. Got some good eyes there, mate. I'm telling you. Very interesting. Here we go. Lee McAllister said, "Big respect to Sam, top fighter, absolute warrior. But that last performance was the best I've seen in box. A perfect performance for me." Completely agree. I mean, Lee's more than qualified. I think Lee's the most decorated fighter in history from Britain. He's won titles from lightweight to heavyweight. Wild youth, top lad. Paul Driscoll, great fighter himself back in the day over in Canada. Nice to see you, mate. Lovely to see you. Always watch it every week. Nice to see you, buddy. Make sure you share and make sure you like. Here we go. Gottman has said Chisora versus AJ. I wouldn't like to see that, mate. Would you?
No, I don't think so. For either of them, really. Yeah, I'm not for either of them. I don't think.
No.
It could be a bad night either way, that could.
I don't see any, honestly, I think it sounds mad, but I wouldn't like to see him in with anyone. I wouldn't even like to see him in with Johnny Fisher right now. And Johnny Fisher's a reasonable novice. I might be going over the top there. Don't get me wrong. I like Johnny, but it's just I just find him. I just don't know what's going on. I know P. Bruce is wrong as well. To be clear, he's an Englishman.
He's a good guy as well. Every time I've seen him, he's always had time to sit back and say some nice words. So
there's nothing more I'd like to see, Sam. There's nothing more I'd like to see than go in there, blast him out, go over there to Deontay Wilder, blast him out of there.
Yeah.
Mate, I'd be shouting him on, singing "Sweet Caroline" to the moon and back.
Yeah.
But I just feel right now that it's just a bit, I don't know, something vulnerable about him.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this whole 250 odd million event that they're going to be having will be spoken as Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua, 34 million each, I believe. Alexander Usyk is around about 63, and then Tyson Fury, I think it's 116 or something like 120, something like 123. Ridiculous money. But obviously, this is aimed so that it could be almost like a tournament, almost like a Super 6, but a Super 4.
Yeah.
Who do you see, if we're going to get there, if this politics crap, because I hate politics, I absolutely can't stand politics in boxing. I want to see people, just a bit like you, I like people seeing fight, and I'll shout you on to the moon and back.
Yeah.
But all the crap and the money and the politics does the absolute head in. But if there's an undisputed, who do you think out of them 4 fighters, who do you feel is the most likely one to achieve undisputed?
I think Tyson at his best. I think Tyson would, if there was a Super 4 series, then I think Tyson wins it. I think, he beats Usyk just because of the size difference, I think. He done a job on Deontay Wilder twice. I don't care what the first one said. It weren't a draw. I think he beats Joshua. I think Usyk and Deontay Wilder will be a good fight I'd like to watch. And I think Usyk could be winning that fight. But if ever, like you say, Deontay Wilder caught him, he would be out.
Yeah.
So I'd love to watch that fight. I'd actually sit back and watch that one. Because you'd be on the edge. You know what would be happening through it because Usyk's Usyk, but then you just never know. He could just, throw one more and then it could change everything. But yeah, I think if I had to put my money on it, I think Tyson Fury would win it, and he'd unify. For honest,
it's such an interesting time, and it's so. And for the fans out there, by the way, sorry. Sorry on behalf of boxing, because it's really winding us up, and I'm seeing on the forums day after day millions of people who are commenting and sharing a post. So thanks everybody for doing it every day. But it's all they're saying is like, I'm sick of boxing. I'm sick of it, fights not happening. I'm sick of people being greedy. So on behalf of boxing, I'm sorry, it does me head in. I mean, Tyson Fury changes. Tyson Fury, respect to him. I've interviewed him before. I like the guy, but he's changing his opponents more than he changes his knickers. It's literally it's like every day you've got.
I had someone say the other day, he was meant to fight this year in January, February, March, and he's meant to fight every month. He's just not one of them's come through.
Yeah,
and people are sitting here thinking, well, what's next? We need to get something done.
Yeah, because you can't just keep saying, "Oh, that Dempsey guy from Australia, oh, he's coming in and he's saying stuff on social media." There's Usyk, there's Joshua is another one that's been talking about this week. Wilder, another one.
Yeah.
It's just getting a bit daft. So please, Tyson, mate, get in the ring for us because we do love you and we want to see you do well, mate. By the way, keep all your comments coming in. I want to hear what you think about that. Let's have a look at this. So Richard Vernon said, for me, AJ's next fight's a must-win for him. Oh, every single fight's a must-win at that level, especially considering the losses he's had. Chris Harper said, Fury. Yeah, I agree. This is a great comment, Sam. If you could put Sam's balls and determination into AJ, you could get a top heavyweight that could go in with anybody. Too much cash and yes, men kissing his arse. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm not going to disagree. Imagine Anthony Joshua with the cojones Sam's got. He'd be a dangerous man. Sam, I just want to say from my end, mate, just a huge thank you for coming on the show. I'll make an absolute...
Anytime, give me a shout and I'll be
You're a top man. I'll make an absolute promise to you, mate, that I don't care how many times you lose. I'll still be on that blower. I'll still be saying, let's go, champ. I'll still be saying, come on, let's go again. I'm dead proud of you. And you've got a lovely family. You're probably arguably the most entertaining and fighter in British boxing. You've been through everything. And I feel the best is yet to come with that last performance. Congratulations, mate.
I believe that. I believe, like I said in the interview after the fight, I reckon 28 to 32, you're in your prime. I'm 29 at the moment. And I believe I've seen the best come out of me in the last year or so. So we'll see, but we'll see.
We'll be following you every single step of the way, Sam. Thanks for coming on the show, buddy. Big love.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for that.
See you soon. A bit of bromance. Got a bit of bromance with Sam Eggington, I feel. He's a top lad. Really, really nice guy. So then, on to our next guest, Danny Ball. So Danny Ball is the new English welterweight champion. I'm going to go to, let's say hi to Linda Platt. Fantastic photographer. It's photographed like the legends of the sport. At Flirt, I thought it was Tyson Fury. At first, did you mean there? Oh, I don't. So, thanks for your comment. Appreciate it. Gottman has said, thanks, Dan and Sam. Great live. Cheers, bro. Appreciate it, matey. We're here every single Sunday. We've got some interesting ones next Sunday as well, actually. I've got a bare knuckle promoter coming on. Actually, a local one. I want to do some supporting for the local bare knuckle scene. I rarely do the bare knuckle, but I have spoken to everybody BKB, BKFC, and I want to try and help and support them in every way I can. Try to be a good and nice guy and all that. So make sure you keep tuning. I will be speaking to Will Storey next Sunday. He messaged me only about, an hour ago saying, I'm so sorry, Dan. I'm stuck on a plane in the Isle of Man. So cheers, EasyJet. Much appreciated there, mate. But I'm going to be bringing on now a guy who I've followed his entire career. We've always been in touch. Talented kid. No doubt about that. Absolutely talented kids. Mr. Danny Ball. Stay tuned. Danny, how you doing? You well, mate?
Good, mate.
How's life? How you doing?
It's all good, yeah. All good.
Top man. Are you watching the fight as we speak?
No, I'm watching the Soccer Aid.
How are you? Oh, Soccer Aid. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. It's normally just a local guy from here trying play football, but yeah. Do you ever remember when Boris Johnson did Soccer Aid? And he
did a rugby tackle.
Yeah. I was watching that the other day. Bless you. Keep all your comments coming in. This is Danny Ball. Danny Ball is the new English welterweight champion, which is lovely to even say. Again, I followed your career all the way through, and I know you team very, very well.
Yeah.
So, first of all, Danny, I've got to ask you a question, mate. How does it feel to now be named English welterweight champion?
Buzzing about it. Something that we always knew he was capable of doing. You're just waiting for the opportunity to come at the right time, and all the hard work's paid off.
Unbelievable stuff. So you had a really, really tough fighter up against you as well, which was really interesting. So talk us through a bit about your opponent and talk us through the fight.
Well, we got messed around with the opponents first because of Tomlinson getting pulled out with a broken hand. So then we was off the show, put back on the show. And we had Jan Robinson, who is a tough lad, just come off the win from Ben Fields as well. So he was, I think he was buzzing for himself, coming in on a high. And he tried to bring it to me, but that night I knew I'd have an answer for anyone that got in that ring that night. I was ready for anything.
Okay, perfect. So, I mean, for the people out there who might not have seen the fight, just talk us through what happened, so people can watch it back.
Started off nice and sharp. The plan was just to stick behind the jab, and it worked. Just nice and long, picked our shots. And just feel ourselves into the fight. Second round, come out, and the peach of a shot that we'd been practicing was the slip on the inside, and we call it the half breed, and it worked. It landed perfect, put him over, and then I thought I was going to get him out there in that second round, so I put everything in. I didn't realise how early it was in the round. It was like 2 minutes 30 left, and so I was trying to put everything into it for 60 seconds. And he wasn't going nowhere. So I had to just get back behind the jab. It showed how tough he was because I had him hurt a couple of times in that 60 seconds and he wasn't going anywhere. So then after that, I found it quite boring, really, just sticking to the game plan and just boxing behind the jab and just watching our shots. Whereas normally I like to get involved a little bit. But it paid off. Just kept chipping away and chopping it down, and he quit on his sword in the end.
He's been through a lot, hasn't he? He really has.
He's a good kid.
He had, right thinking he had testicular cancer, didn't he?
That's it,
and bless him, had to have a removal. And he's constantly saying, to be honest, fair credit to him, he's saying I'm going to be the first British champion with one ball. It's quite funny, but game is anything. I tell you, absolutely
put up a good fight. I say, I thought I was going to get him out there in that second round, but he showed his toughness and he's stuck in there.
Absolutely. Question for you. So, obviously, the natural progression is for you then to move on and to improve, better titles. The British champion is another fantastic bloke, Echo Esserman, who unfortunately you lost to and got stopped a couple of years ago now.
Yeah.
What kind of state are you in with that? Because obviously, he's already beat you. So, do you feel you've improved? Is that a fight you want to take next time around?
That fight has helped me as a fighter. That loss is we learned a lot from me. I jumped into that fight going 100 miles an hour, trying to force a fight and putting the pressure on early instead of doing what I did against Jamie Robinson and just boxing behind the jab. That's what I should have done, but I tried to force the fight too much. Because I got cut early on, I didn't want to get stopped on cut, so I wanted to show that I was still okay to keep going. But no, we've learned a lot, as not just me, but us as a team. We've learned a lot from that. He's helped, and the other week it showed how much I've improved.
What do you feel? I mean, if you could put your hand on a couple of things that you took from that loss, what would you take from it?
Just not rushing, just believing in my own boxing ability, which I don't think I've ever really done. And I'm just having the little break away from that after that fight, and just staying in the gym instead of just getting fat at home.
I'm quite good at that, mate.
We just stayed in the gym and just kept working, and me and Rich have put loads of hours in the gym, and it's paying off now.
It's wicked. It's good. It's really, really is good to see. It's just it just shows how much of a fighter you are. The fact you've gone listen, because that's the natural progression now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're getting English. There are other ways around it, especially this day and age with so many different governing bodies. So, a question I was going to get for you was: are you going to go down the Echo Esserman route, or another option is going through the international route? So you've got fighters like Chris Congo, Michael McKinson, Tyrone McKenna. They're all ones British that are higher in the rankings than you in order for you to get onto some of these international belts. So is that a plan for you? Is that a goal to try and fight some of these to get you up in the rankings, to get you in this position?
Well, yeah, whatever comes our way, we take any fights. We're not fortunate enough to pick and choose who we want to fight. We just fight that we get told who we have to fight against. But from what I was told after the fight, that Eddie Hearn's putting a show on in Birmingham in August, and I'm going to be on it to defend my English title.
Okay, fantastic. Any potential opponent?
Not as yet. I don't know.
Okay, cool. So you did mention it a little bit earlier about being patient, and you felt like you took a lot from that fight and believing in yourself, which are two bloody big things, really. So I can definitely see why you say you've learned a lot from that. But your performance has really stepped up as of late. You do look at different factors here. Is there anything that you, Richie, have been working on in order to get in this position where you're now a champion and wanting that rematch to set the record straight? Is there anything particular you've been working on?
Just believing in our distance a lot more and getting my feet in the right positions. It's mainly down to my footwork, really, and everything else just works. It just flows naturally together.
Awesome. So again, I always like to have a chat about boxing, and guys, keep all your comments coming in. If you've got any questions for the legend Danny, you've got a lot of love for this guy and his team, so make sure you keep your comments coming in. Will you be going to you'll be up my way. Are you going to the awards for the board on the 25th?
I'm not sure yet. I know Rich was going to do something as a gym, I think.
Oh, yeah. All right. Cool. Yes, I'll be on there doing some of the media stuff, so it'd be nice to see you. But if you're not, of course, I'm sure I'll see you soon. With the state of play in boxing, we've got a big fight that's been agreed. Terence Crawford against Errol Spence. Now, considering these guys are welterweights, it makes sense to ask the welterweight champion of England what he thinks about this particular fight. So the first question I've got is, who do you think wins that fight?
I like Errol Spence. I think he's the best welterweight out there.
Okay. What makes you say that?
Just his boxing ability, and he's a southpaw. He doesn't really get hit clean that often. He's bigger than Crawford, isn't he? I think he's taller than Crawford. He's just more of the natural welterweight, and I think he'll move up to light middle after that.
Yeah, I know there's been talks this week about Canelo Alvarez, which I thought was a bit wild. But he is big, and he really has to work hard to get to the weight.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to disagree on this one, Danny. I think Crawford is a generational fighter.
Yeah, I do. I like them both. I just think Errol Spence being the bigger guy. He's a slick boxer. They're both good boxers and good at what they do. I just think him being the trickier southpaw, he can cause Crawford problems. But Crawford has always had an answer with everyone he's been put in with. So
yeah,
it's one of them ones you can argue for both sides, can't you?
Yeah, you can. I love this, and it's funny. But honestly, I think Crawford's going to beat him. But again, we'll have a fist bump to each other, and we'll have a little we'll have a little bet. No money on the line, just pride. But yeah, I think Crawford. But I'll be in touch on the day. Let's have a look, see what the fans are saying. Let's have a look. Here we go. Okay, cool. Congratulations, Leslie Webb said, congratulations, Danny, on becoming an English champion. As long as you learn from a loss, then that loss is as good as a win, as you learn a lot about yourself.
Thank you.
That's a really, really good one. Thank you. Gottman said, well done, Danny, the new English champion. Onwards and upwards, bro. I'm a bromie myself. Lovely, and love out in America. From photographer Linda Platt. Congratulations, Danny. Enjoying the interview. Brilliant. Going back to Crawford and Spence then. Of course, Spence was involved in that massive crash when he got, I don't know even how he survived. I think he went through the windscreen or something. He was in a mess. I don't feel that he's been the same fighter since then. Do you feel that there's anything that took anything from Errol Spence? Or am I just being paranoid?
No, yeah, it's right, because it was a bad one, and he had something else again recently, I think, didn't he?
I'm not sure.
A few weeks back, I think, I've seen it in on social media.
Okay, so if we're going to Terence Crawford then, so do you feel that maybe Crawford is underrated?
Yeah, I don't think he's had the been promoted rightly to get pushed out there. He's done everything that's been asked of him, and he's done it in style against some good lads.
Fantastic. So obviously you must watch your boxing. Who's kind of your boxer that you, let's say, watch the most?
To be fair, I watch anything that comes on. To be fair, I like Callum Smith. I like his style.
Okay.
I like his. I'm trying to copy a little bit. Being tall for the weight, and I like to box mid range from long to mid, and then short range. So you learn a lot from Callum Smith.
Fantastic. Well, I just want to say, really, from my end, Danny, a huge thank you for coming on the show. It's great to see your career flourish. It's brilliant to see that you feel you're improving, and it's even better to hear that, just like Sam, actually, when you're saying, you can come back from a loss. You want to avenge that loss. So I'm sure I'll see you really, really soon, no doubt about it. And I'll buy you water. And thanks for coming on the show, bro.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
See you soon.
Thank you. See ya.
What a fantastic guy. What a brilliant guy, Mr. Danny Ball, the new English welterweight champion. So big thank you for watching. I've just had a couple of comments come in here. Let's have a look here. Sammer, here we go, Sammer Carroll. And again, big shout out. I didn't say much about it the other day, but Sammer, I commentated on his fight up in Aberdeen last Saturday. And I hope you don't mind me saying this, but some of his previous fights, he was a little bit pondered, a little kind of plodded a little bit. completely changed. He's changed his weight. I was really impressed with you, mate. You were absolutely brilliant, and you've got a bright future ahead. So keep that work up. But he said, I fancy Crawford with the late stoppage. I think it'd be too sharp for Spence. Do you know what? I can't deny. I honestly think that Crawford, and I'd like to think I know a bit about boxing. Yeah, Danny, I do know about boxing. I can see in the background there. I'm still going. I'm going to win that bet. I'm telling you now, or I'll be ringing you. Yeah, I just think that Crawford is an absolute, a literal generational fighter that's going to end up. It could well end up completely undefeated for his entire career. Richard Vernon said, another great show as always, pal. Looking forward to seeing who you got next week. Let me have a look and I'll tell you. Let's have a look who we got next week. So next week, so far, we've got a lady called Christiane Fahy, she's undefeated. Well, I'm not going to say too much yet, but let's just say I was in conversations yesterday over in America with some very, very good news for Christiane. I'm not going to break it now, but she's really good. She stopped her opponent. Really, really impressed with her. I've got also somebody called Stefan Hanks, who is a promoter over in the UK. And also I've having in conversations, but I think he'll be coming on, Mr. Tony Weeks, the referee, who I've got a lot of love for him. If you haven't already, make sure you see our video that we did the other day, saying back off him just because he made a decision of a guy who was getting hurt. So it'd be nice to have him on the show too, to discuss what happened with Barroso. So yeah, exciting times. And then we're going to be, I think it's the Monday after, I'm going to be bringing Tommy Morrison's wife back on. There's been some big, so for people who don't know, and if you haven't seen this, you need to get on it now. Tommy Morrison didn't have AIDS. Now, I didn't know this. I was a massive fan of Tommy Morrison. I loved the Rocky films. I thought he was amazing. Probably one of the best left hooks ever. Breaking news, Tommy Morrison, point blank, did not have AIDS, and it's looking likely this got set up. Evidence showing this. So this is all based on fact, not hearsay, pure fact. And she's got some seriously chilling new news on the case of Tommy Morrison, which is absolutely brilliant because she's been fighting his corner for years. Sam Carroll, thanks again, Dan. Means a lot. Another cracking show tonight. Top man. Really, really appreciate that. Leslie Webb put no more than £5 bet, Dan, as you know the rest. Yeah, I mean, I'm not betting money. I'm useless at betting, to be fair. Lee McCall said total scam after he got beat. Yeah, something's gone on. Something's really gone on. I'm not going to say any names because I'm sure people know one about, and it's been pretty well documented who might have stopped Tommy Morrison's career. But I'm going to be speaking to Tricia Morrison. I've got loads of love for her. We've got a viral video go out there when we've got proof that Tommy Morrison did not die of AIDS. Now, just going to put it out there. If Tommy Morrison had AIDS, I'm pretty sure his wife would know about it. I'm pretty sure she'd probably have AIDS. So, yeah, it's crazy. Linda Platt said Tommy died of septicemia followed by a heart attack. Yeah, so what actually happened with Tommy Morrison, and this is a bit of a spoiler, is he had like a tick bite. He was in prison for something, and he had like a tick bite that got infected, and he basically died from septicemia. And in the video, if you watch it, Trisha talks about he fainted and his head went through like a fake wall, literally went straight through the wall. And he died. He didn't die of AIDS. He died of septicemia following that. So yeah, it's crazy, really. Lee said, so they didn't have to pay the contract money that they were due after he got beat. Thing is, this is what I'm on about with the politics of boxing. It winds me up. Honestly, I can't stand the politics of boxing. You're going to ruin people's careers, and yeah, it's horrendous. Linda Platt said Trish and I talk quite a bit. Yeah, she's a lovely lady. She's coming on Monday, actually. So we're going to have like a one-off on the Monday. It'll be nice to speak to her. Leslie Webb said, looking forward to hearing from Trish. Keep fighting, Trish. Justice for Tommy. Yeah, and again, you know what I mean? How can anybody even sit there and then say someone's got AIDS if his own wife hasn't got AIDS? I mean, there's quite a clear deciding factor here. That you'd think if anybody would know, then it would be his missus, to say the least. Linda Platt comes back with, why wasn't there a follow-up blood test? There's a lot of dodgy things happening in that case with Tommy Morrison. We've got some news. I think it's, what date is it? the 18th with 19th with Trisha. So yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be one hell of a ride. So thanks everybody for watching. I was a bit poorly last week, making excuses, but I was a bit poorly last week. I think I overdid it when I went to Aberdeen. So sorry I wasn't on last week, but I'm on every single Sunday at 8:30, bringing the fighters to the fans here at Boxing TV. Big shout out. I just want to say I really appreciate every single person tuning in, sharing, liking. Boxing's absolutely my life. It's absolutely what I want to do in the future. Just as much as I'm doing, if not more than what I'm doing now. So make sure you share, make sure you like, make sure you comment. And above all, have a fantastic week. Love you all. Absolute legends. Take care.